So in this video, we're going to dive into some quick and easy steps to getting an online coaching business started from scratch. So if you've got 0 online clients and you're looking to get started online, this is going to be the video for you. Let's get into it. So the first step is getting certified and really getting the right qualifications before venturing online. Now, this is actually not necessary. You don't need any qualifications to be an online coach, but having those qualifications in place means that you've been through some form of education that's going to set you up for delivering the best possible service in an online setting. So there's going to be various different routes that you could go down to get certified. Maybe you become a personal trainer first, maybe you become a nutritionist first, maybe you become a dietitian, and then later use that qualification as a starting point to building out your online coaching business and delivering an online coaching service. So step number 2 is coming up with what you want to offer and what you want to sell. Now this really is going to depend on the type of business that you want to build, but I'm going to give you 3 specific options that you could consider when it comes to doing online coaching. Now, the first option is building a membership site. And this is basically just a site that people get access to where they've got trainings and resources and things that they can go through. And this is typically the lowest priced option for the consumer and is one that works really, really well for someone that's got a very big audience, let's say tens of thousands of followers, because in those tens and thousands of followers, there's likely going to be enough customers to make that low priced membership site a profitable business. Now, for most people listening to this, that's probably not going to be the best route to go unless you're some big influencer with a big audience. And so option 2 or 3 might be a better option for you. Now, option 2 would be to start a group coaching program. And this is where you essentially find a group of people who want to solve the same problem, and you launch a group program and you take them all through that group program at the same time. Now, the thing I do like about this is you're creating community around your coaching program, and it's quite efficient because you're coaching multiple people at the same time, okay, which makes it quite scalable. The downside to this though is you need a group of people in order to get started. So you've got to go out there and find these group of people before you even launch. What I will say though is this is going to be at a higher price point to the consumer than a, let's say, low price point membership site, because they're actually going to get some coaching and access and support from you. So that's option number 2. Now, option number 3 is the one that I think is the best option for someone that's just getting started. I think it's the easiest option, and it's going to be the most lucrative option from a financial standpoint, and that is creating a one-to-one coaching offer. And this is where someone would get one-to-one access to you, maybe a training plan, maybe an app, there'd be a check-in process, maybe coaching calls, and they're just working one-on-one with you. And this is much easier to start with because you only have to find one person to get started. And then number 2, you can charge the most money for that type of product and service because they're getting so much access to you. So those are the 3 options. Again, it all depends on the type of business that you want to build and also how you're starting out, whether you've got a big following, small following, or you just want to make it like really easy to get started and start taking on clients. Step number 3 is pick an ideal client or niche. And although this is not super essential when you're just getting started, you're probably going to work with a variety of people. As time goes on, it's going to be helpful to have a niche or an ideal client, because that means you can then tailor the training, the program, and the coaching specifically to a specific group of people who have a specific problem. And that's then gonna really help you drive better results. It's gonna make it much easier to deliver. And as a byproduct, you're also gonna be able to charge more for your services because you're now a specialist, not a generalist. Another thing that's really helpful when you pick a niche or a niche, depending on where you are in the world, is you can then craft very specific marketing content to speak to the problems, the struggles, the pain points, the desires and wants of that specific group of people, which makes your marketing, your content, your social media strategy that much more effective, and as a byproduct, you're going to get more clients. So step number 4 would be to set up a payment processor like Stripe. Now, there is plenty of options out there. There's alternatives to Stripe, but Stripe is something that I'm familiar with and we've used for the last 5 years. We run all of our transactions through Stripe, and it allows us to be much more efficient and effective with our payment processing. For example, if I were to just be sending out our bank details, then we're going to make less sales because we're creating more friction. And equally, I'd have to then potentially chase down payments from clients who are maybe late or missing payments. Whereas with Stripe or any payment processor, it's much simpler to take payments, whether that's through a link or on a call. It's much easier to set up payment plans or reoccurring payments. And it's also going to collect those payments for you so that it does all the admin and you don't have to do it. And so when you're just starting out, maybe you can take a couple of clients, friends, family, people you know, via a bank transfer. But as you start building out into a colder audience of people and you want to be more efficient and effective, a payment processor is a must in my opinion. And one of the things that I really like about having a payment processor is it gives you a snapshot of all your data. So you can see the stats, you can see the income, you can see your earnings, and you can see what you're making on a monthly, on a quarterly, on a yearly basis. And that's really good to know as a business owner, so you know where your business is trending and where it's headed. So step number 5 is coming up with your marketing strategy. And you may not need social media to get your first 5 clients, because when I started my business, what I did was I tapped into my network of people that I already knew. And I said, I've got this particular product and offer, and I'm going to be solving this specific problem. Can you think of anyone who may be interested? And from that, I was able to get my first client, second client, third, fourth, and fifth client. And that didn't involve any social media. Now, once that initial network is exhausted, that's when it makes sense to come up with a social media strategy if you're going to expand your online business and generate more clients. Now, what I teach to my clients is pick a singular platform first where it makes most sense to find your audience. For example, people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s are more likely to be on Facebook than they are on TikTok. So if that's your demo, then Facebook would probably be more logical. If you're trying to target people who want to build physiques, or they want to enter competitions, and they're maybe in their 20s and 30s, and aesthetically, you want to help them get in shape and get into a good aesthetic shape, then it's likely that those people are going to be easy to attract on Instagram and also find on Instagram. So again, it depends on who you're working with, but also you want to consider where have you already got an audience. So if you've already got an audience on Instagram or you've already got an audience on Facebook, that's probably going to be the easiest place to get the ball rolling. And that's where I'd be coming up with my marketing strategy and thinking about what actually works on that platform. Who else is already on that platform in my market who is successful? What are they doing? What are they posting? Okay, that typically will lead you to clues of what you could potentially do when it comes to your marketing strategy. And if you want help with the marketing strategy and you want to learn how to generate leads and sales, then feel free to click the link down below. You can enter some details and we could have a conversation to see if what we do could be a good fit for you. Now, once you figure that out, now step 6 is to start enrolling clients and getting results. And this is where you're gonna really get to test out your process, figure out what's working, what's not working, what you need to add, maybe what you need to take out, and drive results. And with these results, you're then gonna be able to create these transformations, and you're gonna be able to create marketing that's gonna allow you to attract more clients and then repeat and improve that process that you're delivering. Now, what I will say is when you're looking to get these results and transformations, you should be always asking the question, what could I do to improve my process? What can I do to make my process better? What can I do to make the client experience better? Those are some questions that I would be asking in order to constantly level up what you're doing, because your program, your service, your product, it's going to go through many iterations, and you're going to want to keep refining it so that you can get better results, you can charge more, people stick with you for longer, and as a byproduct, you're just going to have a better business. Step number 7, and this is the final step, is really look at the whole business and zoom out. Okay, look at it from above and go, what could I improve and what could I make better, right? There's gonna be many different things, whether that's in your marketing process, in your onboarding process, in your check-in process, in your sales process, maybe just in your systems that could be improved. And one of the things that we like to do every single week is develop the business and work on the business, not just in the business, because that's how you create an amazing business, right? Is constantly working on it and tweaking it and improving it and adding better infrastructure, better processes, better systems. And I'd be carving out at least a few hours, if not half a day every single week to business development and improvement. And that's going to really be healthy in order to create a business that's going to be sustainable, especially in the online world where a lot of things are changing very quickly, and you want to make sure that you're keeping up with the changes and you're really keeping up with how the market is moving. So if you found this useful, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to find more content just like this. And if you're interested in anything else when it comes to building an online coaching business, generating leads, or getting clients, then go take a look at some of my other videos on this channel where you're going to find tons of great content. See you soon.